Task 2, working out statistics. To make this a little shorter, in the build up to Christmas, we have removed 2 of the bits of statistics you have to work out, so we can cross those off. We're going to skip doing these last couple of bullet points here. The bus route with the highest number of days on it, which was late, we are not going to do that one. And the average number of minutes late for each bus route. We could do that, but it would just take a little bit longer. And if anyone's very fast, they feel free to work on those themselves. So what we are going to do is do the number of late arrivals for each bus route, and the average number of minutes late for each bus route. We can choose when we want to record that. It doesn't actually matter. It could come all together at the end, or it could come after each bus route. And we're going to present this after the person has put these in. Just for context, I would expect at this point no one should be testing this with 120 data points when they're doing the testing of their programs. You should just be putting in 2 data points for each bus route, so you'd end up with 12. So one of these is an example of counting, and one of these is an example of summing. Obviously in the count part, which is the first one, you need to add 1 each time to a count variable that you need to initialize at 0. Then you need to store that count in some kind of array. And there are going to be 6 counters that you're going to be keeping track of. Likewise, the average number of minutes late for each bus route. To work out an average, well, you already know that there's going to be 20 data points for each bus. So therefore, to work out the average, which it means the mean, you're going to have to not count but sum. So each time you get an input, you could do this right at the start when you get the input from the person. So you say, for bus route A, please say how late the bus was or early, and the person puts, say, -4. You could take that data point and start summing that, which would be a negative sum inside that array. And again, there's going to be 6 points there, or 6 zeros, because it needs to be initialized as 6 zeros in some kind of array. In fact, both of these two, the counter array and the other array. And then when the data point comes in, these ones go up in 1, so that becomes 1, and then 2, and then 3. Whereas this one, if they put 4 in, it's going to say that they arrived 4 minutes early, so that's going to be replaced with a 4. Obviously, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, what if they had 3 4s and then 3 negative 4s? Well, in the context of this program, it's going to class that as 0. This part of the program, the average number of minutes late, only showing data from when it was late, is the harder bit, which we're not going to do for the pre-release this time round. So everything in red is something that you've already done for task 1. Constants might need they don't need changing. It's the 20 and the 6. The arrays you might want to, the new ones are coming down here. The statistic arrays are going to be 6 in length, storing a load of zeros, and that's these 2 that you're going to be doing for task 2. And then as the data comes in, you can update the statistic arrays, remembering one of them for each position you need to +1 to, and the other you need to plus the input, whatever the person types. And then after that loop, so this is after all this is finished, right down the bottom where you've written next, you need to go right there and start a brand new for loop. And you need to loop all over the bus routes again, which is going to be those blocks of 6, the two lists of 6 data points, and report them all out, really. And this little bit is just who was the worst. That's just a little extension. I don't think that's actually in the task. Who was the worst? But who was the worst is another one that the exam board love to do, which is an example of not counting or summing, but find highest, or in this case, find latest route. Would that be the average? That would be the average, whoever has the worst average, which is, find worst, find the worst average. And that's a very common thing the exam board love to do.